I'm having an issue with my 4 to 20 milliamp signal, either going in or coming out of my PowerFlex 525 drive. And I wanted to use it as a learning opportunity to address something several of you brought up in my video on measuring a milliamp signal without blowing the fuse in your meter. Now, I'll put a link to that one at the end of the video, but just a quick recap. To measure a milliamp signal on your typical meter, you're going to have a milliamp mode here. And if we turn to it, then in the case of the 1587B, you can do AC or DC. So then I'm going to hit the blue button, and that switches us over to milliamp DC. And very important, we're going to pay attention to our posts. And then we're going to watch that video I'm putting at the end to make sure we don't blow the fuse in the meter. But what a lot of you brought up was that the way that I showed you to do it, you have to lift a wire, which could be detrimental to our process. So I have my green light here to represent our process. And when I go to take loose one wire to put this in series, our green light goes out, which tells us, yeah, we are breaking our process. But then I can put my lead in series, and we'll go ahead and turn on the light on this so you can see it really well. And we are getting 20 milliamp, and I'm simulating 20 milliamp. But what if we're in an application where we absolutely cannot interrupt our process? We cannot break that circuit. That's where the Fluke 773 can really come in handy. This is for measuring milliamp signal. Now, a lot of us have seen a regular clamp meter. Here is the Fluke 381, and it's got a nice large amperage clamp on it. But being a large amperage clamp, it's not good for milliamp or thousandths of an amp. Now we're going to do the same test with the 773. And what I really love about this is, usually you can't reach in with it. So they actually have a removable clamp on it. So I'm going to pop the clamp out. And that gives you a good amount of cable to kind of reach into something. Now, the most important thing to be aware of is don't put it onto your signal and then power it up. There is a zeroing process. I'm going to power it up. And then at the bottom, you see that there is a percentages going through, and that is zeroing out our clamp. So wait until it gets to 100%, and then I can put it around my wire, and we can see that we have a negative 20 milliamp. If you show negative, all I got to do is remove the clamp and install it the other way. And now we show the 20 milliamp positive. So now I'm going to take my clamp and I am going to put it on the output of my drive and see what it's putting out. And we see that it's putting out pretty much 0 milliamps. So something has happened to the output of my drive, or I may have accidentally reset this for a video and maybe I just forgot a parameter. Hopefully it's that easy. Now let me show you one other really cool feature that we're going to use on an upcoming video on the Fluke 1587B is you can actually output what you're reading on the clamp. So if I put it back over on my good reading, I'm showing 20 milliamp here. And then we have a milliamp scale button right here. So if I hit the yellow, which is a shift, and then I get a milliamp scale, that's going to make it start outputting what we're actually measuring. Now, where that comes in handy is the 1587B has the Fluke Connect, which we can now connect and start logging some data. So I'm going to take this meter, and I'll turn the light on, that way you can see, and I'll put the leads right here so we can measure what it's outputting. And we're showing 20.14 on the 773, and we're showing 20.14 on the 1587B. And at that point, we can do some really cool data logging, which can be very important in process control. So if you missed the video on how to measure a milliamp signal with a meter without blowing your fuse, then here is it, along with some really cool videos on the 1587B.